What's up and welcome back. John Stark, MyMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and I'm reacting to the Emmy nominations. So it's Talking Emmys. Click like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We're just going to touch on a couple things that surprised me, disappointed me, made me sad, made me happy, made me glad, made me a fad. I don't know. Anyway, subscribe. I couldn't rhyme glad with anything. After that, I just ran out of rhymes. Made me rad, made me a dad. I guess I could have. Uh, so Emmys. I think one of the best representations of how I feel was, I can't remember what publication it was. I would love to be able to say for sure. I want to say it was AP, but when they were posting about the Emmys, they were like, something about like Severance or something. Somebody did really well, and then they were like, and Handmaid's Tale gets a chilly goodbye. And I felt that so hard. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, man, like Cherry Jones is the one performer from the entire final season who got nominated. I mean, kudos, but holy shit. So what it proves is they did watch the show, and they just were like, eh. Eh. Like, what the fuck? So, at least with like Yellow Jackets, which just got like, it just got shut out altogether, man. And Showtime has been sitting on whether or not to renew that show, and I feel like they were waiting to see whether or not it got any Emmy nominations, and I feel like this is not a good sign for Yellow Jackets. So if you're a fan of Yellow Jackets, they might let it finish. That would be so shitty for them to not finish that story. They should maybe they're waiting to see if they're going to announce it as like a final pickup, or maybe even not a full season. You know, where like Yellow Jackets, the final 5 episodes. Yellow Jackets, the movie. The wrap-up movie. But what that would be such a dick move to not finish that show, to not connect everything together, to have that much lore and to not bring it together simply because it failed to get Emmy nominations would be utterly absurd at this point. But yeah, they didn't get the Hilary Swank nomination everybody thought they were going to get. Christina couldn't get in. Melanie Lewinsky couldn't get in. It's not a good day for Yellow Jackets. It was not a good day for Handmaid's Tale, which has previously won Best Drama Series. This category snubbed 2 previous winners, notably Handmaid's Tale and Squid Game. It's more noticeable for Squid Game considering they won for their first season and they're not even nominated for the second season. So, and Lee Young-jae, who also won for lead actor, is also not nominated. So like they just completely did not like Squid Game season 2 at all. Like the fad is over. And it's out. But we had a resurgence of The Boys, which is in drama now. So what? I have so many questions for Emmy voters. Where are you? What are you doing with your life? Why is Giancarlo Esposito nominated for Best Guest Actor in a Drama Series for The Boys? This was a show that his last nomination was in comedy. I was unaware that we could do this, that we could suddenly decide that a series was a different thing because The Bear keeps being nominated in comedy. So what you're saying is you're fully capable of understanding that a series is perhaps less comedic than it initially was set out to be and should now be recognized in a drama, but you keep nominating The Bear in comedy? Why? No, I want to know why. Like, comment down below. Why is The Bear still in the comedy category, but yet you moved The Boys to drama? I'm waiting. I really want to know. I want to know how Giancarlo Esposito's The Boys nomination was in drama and not in comedy, but The Bear is still considered a comedy. We're gonna wait. I'm gonna move on. But I think I made my point. So, I've never really truly loved Emmy nominations. So I feel like, first of all, part of the problem is that we have an ungodly amount of shows and so few nominations. I was actually surprised that we went down to 5 lead nominations in drama. I thought we were up to 6. I thought we had enough qualifying shows. Because we do. Like, are they just not submitting? Uh, I mean, we have tons of shows. I mean, they have no shot at Emmys, but they should still count. You know, I don't know, like Sweet Magnolias should still count as a show. It's never going to get nominated for an Emmy. Virgin River, like stuff like that. I know that they probably Netflix doesn't want to waste campaign money on them, but they are still shows. And that's the thing, is it shouldn't be shows that are paid to submit. It should be shows that are in existence. Because we have a lot of television out there, and just because the other shows are realizing that they don't have a shot doesn't mean that they shouldn't count toward the overall total of drama series. I find it really hard to believe that we don't have enough drama series to qualify as sixth nominee in lead. So it definitely shut some people out. Maybe it shut Elizabeth Moss out. Maybe it shut Diego Luna out for Andor. He wasn't nominated. That was kind of a pretty big snub, considering they didn't nominate. The only acting nomination to come out of Andor was Forrest Whitaker. I mean, he's great. But, like, you watched all of Andor, and the one nomination we came up with was Forrest Whitaker. Really? Really? You watched that entire season, and you were like, oh, the performance that stuck with me the most was Forrest Whitaker's performance. I think if that were true, Andor wouldn't be nominated in Best Series. So it's just things like that. And of course it's populated by White Lotus. Thank God that, like, we have at least some shakeup and it's not all... I was so worried it was just going to be like White Lotus and like The Pit, or White Lotus and Severance, and like that annoying year where it was White Lotus and Succession, where the supporting actor category was just 4 White Lotus, 4 Succession, and that was it. Just 2 shows represented. So we did get Severance some love. We got them 3 actors. We got like 4 White Lotus boys, and 1 Paradise for James Marsden. Did not see that coming. Kind of surprised by it, and I think he stole a nomination from a lot of other deserving people who are in other shows that Emmy voters just don't seem keen on. Like, I know people are like, you're being mean to James. Like, let's be honest, Stellan Skarsgård deserved that nomination for Andor. It's really hard to look at what he did in Andor and look at what James did in Paradise and be like, that's the same thing. So there are other people who could have been in this category. There are other shows that they're just not watching anymore that have great supporting actor performances in them. But I mean, supporting actor Bradley Whitford for The Handmaid's Tale, duh. Like, how not? Brown cow. So yeah, I was there were some that I predicted too. Like, I actually predicted Sharon Horgan for Bad Sisters. A lot of other people were bouncing around, and I was like, granted, I had 6 nominees because I thought we were getting 6 at the time, but I did put Sharon Horgan in there, and I went on a limb for that, for the 6th place spot. People had a lot of other random. I was like, nah, I feel like this is going to be Bad Sisters again. I feel like she's going to continue to get in for Bad Sisters. Actor was a little bit tougher. They snubbed a lot of people in actor, like, to get to maintain some of these nominations that they got. Like, I'm not saying that they needed... I was a little bit worried about Pedro still being nominated in lead actor for Last of Us, but he managed it. But yeah, we cut out... I knew... I did not predict Your Friends and Neighbors, so your John Hamm for Your Friends and Neighbors obviously did not make the cut. But, I mean, there's a bunch of, like, downstream talent that just failed to... that I think some people thought, like Billy Bob Thornton for Landman. I think people thought that was going to happen, and it didn't. So, yeah, 1923 didn't get picked up. Stop picking Taylor Sheridan shows. Emmy voters don't like them. They don't vote for them. So, that's why I didn't go with it. Kathy Bates for Matlock is a lark. It's a one-off. Her performance was so iconic this year. I wonder if she can maintain that nomination next year. Possibly if she wins, But then again, I think Squid Game is a really like a cautionary tale to being too of the moment, that when you're suddenly like a little bit out of fashion, they don't like you anymore. So Squid Game just kind of waited a little too long, and it became passe to nominate Squid Game, I guess. Although we resurged The Boys, I just don't understand. The Giancarlo Esposito nomination is so, like, it blows my mind. Um, I'm like, how did they even? Is he just that popular of an actor that they just voted for Giancarlo Esposito? Just cause they're like, oh, Giancarlo's up. He's in the category. Look at that. We'll vote for him. Um, I don't know. So, supporting actress, I didn't have any huge surprises there. It was just like a lot of White Lotus people. Kind of disappointed. I mean, just that some other nominees aren't there. That's it. Like from either Handmaid's Tale, Yellow Jackets. We just had some people that probably could have been there other than those, the mass amount of talent. But I mean, Patricia Arquette's there for Severance. I don't know that I needed Julianne Nicholson from Paradise. Paradise got a lot of nominations. I'm not super stoked about. I think The Pit, I was expecting maybe a little bit more from, and we kind of pegged less Pit performers. So, whatever. So that's kind of like the drama race, and how I feel about it. I didn't really think House of the Dragon was going to get nominated, but it could have. It was the second season of House of the Dragon, and its first season did get nominated, but it wasn't a huge reception like Game of Thrones was. So they did snub House of the Dragon as well, which was previously nominated in drama series. Comedy, sure. I mean, this is basically, I thought they would get What We Do in the Shadows in there for its final season. I'm a little sad at the chilly reception for Poker Face, which continues to just sort of be a guest starring thing. But if you kind of look across the whole playing field, Peacock did not do well, like as a streaming service. They did get Bridget Jones into the movie category, but they couldn't get Amanda Seyfried in for Long Bright River. Oh my God, that was a great performance. And also, I guess jump to limited series. Say Nothing. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I saw her performance. Her name is Say Nothing. Great performance. And I guess just like terrible timing. When I saw that, I was like, there's no way that you watch that. I mean, she goes through torture. She's literally like tortured and force fed and everything on screen. It's a harrowing performance. And then they were just like, nah. Megan got in for Sirens, which I loved Sirens. I'm obsessed with Sirens, and I so totally want a Sirens season 2 really bad. But I giggled when I saw her because so many people didn't think Sirens was happening. I didn't think Sirens was happening. I was gaslit into believing that Sirens was not Emmy worthy. And when I saw Megan Fakey, I was like, oh my God, that's awesome. She was fantastic in that. But it also came at a cost. It came at a cost for Amanda Seyfried, who I think was giving possibly the best performance of her career in Long Bright River. And I've forgotten her name. I'm so sorry. It's like I can see the words forming in my head. But from Say Nothing, the lead of Say Nothing should have been nominated also. Another fantastic performance that was forgotten about. Actor, yeah, I haven't seen the Rashida Jones episode, but I probably just wouldn't have nominated Rashida Jones. I think there were people, the thing about nominating people for Black Mirror is that you're nominating them for one episode. And it's tough to look at like what Amanda did and what Say Nothing was and say, yeah, Rashida's one episode is so superior that the character arc of these other actresses doesn't need to be represented. I know I jumped down to, I was going to do comedy and I'm now in limited series. This is a train of thought thing. Just Adolescence got a lot of nominations. The Penguin got all the nominations I thought it would get. It didn't. I don't think it snubbed anybody. Some people had it getting a supporting actor nomination that I just didn't think was going to happen. So, I'm happy that Jenny Slate was nominated for Dying for Sex, and they didn't leave her behind and just told me to nominate Michelle Williams. That would have been awful. I mean, that shows both of them. Sissy Spacek nomination would have been nice too, but yeah, Jenny Slate is fire in that series. So, uh, yeah, I don't know that there are any big surprises. The overall love for Presumed Innocent in a limited series category for a show that's already been picked up for a second season is baffling to me. But that's just like that's the problem with limited series is that shows don't really stay limited. And it's just I even predict Presumed Innocent in drama because I thought I think I had Jake Gyllenhaal as my drama series actor nomination because I was like there's no way they've already announced the second season of this, and while they have hinted that it'll be a different case, they haven't totally said that Jake Gyllenhaal will not be present ever in the series, which would be a returning, which means it's a second season. It's like it's a continuing thing. So even if you keep, it's the problem that they have now with American Horror Story. Like Horror Story can no longer compete in limited series because it has these connected worlds and these universes and these characters that have crossed over. So when they started linking seasons together, it no longer became an anthology series. So they had to consider it as a drama series. It's very, very complicated stuff. I love how we have all these rules, but The Bear is still a comedy, and Presumed Innocent was nominated in limited series. So rules apply when they need to apply, I guess. I don't know. Uh, it's like Wicked being nominated for original score, but Dune 2 not being eligible. So nobody really cares about making it make sense anymore. It's just all shenanigans. This is yeah, there was some great nominees here. There were some great nominees here. And I'm not too I giggled at Nona's for best movie. I was kind of hoping The Gorge wouldn't happen. It's not a great movie. It's just not a great movie. Like I don't know why we keep putting that film up there. Is it because it had a high budget? For like, did people like The Gorge? It's not like basically it's the nomin. It's basically it's nominated for Best Picture at the Emmys. The Gorge. Um, I mean, I can definitely suggest some other options for them that could have been nominated there that they just, again, Emmy voters are too boring and they don't want to watch things like Out of My Mind on Disney Plus. Would have been an inspired choice and is absolutely eligible in this category. So would have been much better to see that over The Gorge. So anyway, comedy was pretty predictable. I feel bad for Poker Face, but like I said, they can't hold it against Poker Face because Peacock seems to be, other than the traitors, ineligible to get series nominations. So they didn't show up in drama. They didn't show up in comedy. Although Poker Face was their strongest comedy series contender. They didn't show up in limited. They had a couple options here, but Long Bright River was probably their biggest. So, yeah, Peacock is still working on getting into the game. But it wasn't a great day for Paramount Plus either. I mean, when you look at the shows that were nominated and you look at actually like Paramount Plus originals or Showtime originals, wasn't a great day for them either. The other networks, it wasn't a great day for a lot of people. It was a great day for like Netflix, for HBO Max, Apple. But some of the other people really have to kick up their get their campaigning into gear. Even Amazon could be doing better in terms of nominations. They put out a lot of original movies to not be highly competitive in the original movie category. Feels weird. So, yeah, I think comedy category, there wasn't really any huge. My biggest snub is Linda Lavin for Mid-Century Modern, but that's a great lineup of actresses. So it's like, who would I have kicked out? I mean, looking at that list, and no shade, but for a year, I would have stepped out Cheryl Lee Ralph. She's won the race before, so she definitely doesn't need to be in the mix to win. She can come back in next year because Linda Lavin can't, you know? So I would have, yeah, I would have stepped, I would have dropped. It would have, it at least makes the category more interesting because then it means that somebody's going to win that category who hasn't won that category before. So it's sort of twofold. It doesn't mean that I don't love Cheryl Lee Ralph, uh, but the rest of the actresses I don't believe have won that category, and some of them haven't been nominated previously, like Liza Colin-Zayas. So I'm not going to kick her out of the race. Um, but yeah, Linda Lavin from Mid Century Modern hurts my soul that she wasn't nominated for that. And obviously just like guest performers just went all over the place to the studio. I guess I could have dropped a studio actress because they're fine. You know, I love like the Catherines, but they're good. They don't need one. I could have dropped one of them for Linda Lavin. Actually, they're eligible too. I would have, yeah, anybody like that. But it's hard to say some of those people because they either could still win, like Janelle James and Hannah Einbinder, who both deserve to win and have never won, or it's their first nomination, like Liza Colin-Zayas. So I don't want to remove them either. But supporting actor was kind of what I thought it was going to be. Not a lot of huge surprises. I think maybe the biggest snub there was Tyler James Williams for Abbott Elementary, but he kind of got pushed out for more inspired nominations. I love that Somebody Somewhere nomination. I love when we just randomly pick somebody from a show like that hasn't really gotten a lot of acting love. It was sort of like all of a sudden we just loved Reservation Dogs in its final season and gave it a little bit of love on the way out the door. So hey, you know what? It's the final season of Somebody Somewhere, and the show got a nomination. I kind of wish its lead actress had gotten a nomination, but okay. I guess you take what you can get. There are more slots in supporting, so it's easier to get into a supporting category, I guess. But cool, yeah. Great job, Jeff. So I continue to be sort of surprised by the Martin Short only thing, and it's not. I'm not in the boat who's like Martin Short's not funny. I think he's hilarious, but it wasn't his season. It was Steve's season. Like the whole season was shaped around his character, like trying to avenge the death of his, of who also like we probably could have pulled some Only Murders nominations, and Martin's like the only person nominated. It's weird that he's the only person nominated, and the season wasn't really shaped around him. You know, he did have some nice moments with Meryl, in and around him being his usual goofy self, but I just think Steve had so many great scenes with Jane Lynch. There was a lot of emotional, dramatic weight that was on top of him finally in this, that to snub him over Martin feels weird. I kind of thought that either both wouldn't make it, or that Steve would make it over Martin this time. Maybe they'd flip it. But I guess it's always just going to be Marty gets a little bit more votes than Steve. So, really stoked for Harrison Ford. Thank you for nominating him, finally, for the second season of Shrinking. 83 years old, his first Emmy nomination. Kathy Bates became the oldest nominee in lead actress ever at 77, besting Angela Lansbury's Murder, She Wrote nomination, apparently, I heard. That was the stat that was given to me. So those are my thoughts on nominations. It was a good morning for a lot of shows. It was a bad morning for some shows. And for certain shows that were looking for some Emmy love, to figure out if they were going to get another season, possibly like Yellow Jackets, I'd be worried. But I think when you have a show like Yellow Jackets and you don't give it a conclusion of some kind, even like a movie, like, I think you lose. I think people riot. I think when you build a show with that much lore that is so close to being connected, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're pretty close. I don't know what they have plans for. I don't know how many seasons they had in their head, but I feel like that if they were told, could you wrap this in 2 hours, that they could wrap it in 2 hours. I think they could. So I think you have to give Yellow Jackets a conclusion. I don't think you can just straight up cancel that show and leave people with the, what the fuck? Could you imagine if Lost didn't have an ending? If they were just like, there's no ending to Lost. People would have lost their minds. Anyway, so that's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Let me know what your favorite nominations were, or snubs, surprises. Which shows do you miss? What should have been nominated? I'm sure there's a list. Put it in the comments. Thanks for listening to me rant, and I'll see you guys on the other side.